afternoon, good evening, good metal. My name's Coop. Thanks for tuning into the Spoken Metal Show. This particular episode focuses on photography, and Don Jackson, we get to talk a little bit about the business and kind of how to maybe start off and kind of do some things with photography, what it's really like photographing large rock bands and that type of thing. It's a pretty good chat, though. It's pretty interesting stuff. Don's talks very passionately about the thing he loves. Might be quite interesting for the people out there just starting out, or maybe some of the older hands just want to have listen to someone else's opinion. You can check us out on Facebook at The Spoken Metal Show, on Twitter at The Spoken Metal Show 1, obviously on our YouTube channel at The Spoken Metal Show. All these links will be connected onto this particular podcast. And I just want to take the time just to thank everybody for checking us out. The last one was Simon Hall. Very, very, very popular one. Got a lot of good feedback from that about some people maybe to approach and talk to and go through some things with those about the business and behind the scenes and the crewing. And that's really what these kind of little specials are about, is about talking to people that are the kind of the machines that make sort of rock and roll move forward. Man, it's really good just to talk to these people and get a little bit of a window into a world that maybe some people don't see or appreciate or even know goes on. So thanks very much for all the feedback that we had from people within the business and outside and fans alike. It's really nice to get that. So without any further ado, I'll stop going on and saying an awful lot and take and then say straight after that, and then just get straight into it now with the conversation with Don Jackson. Thanks for listening, like and share and all our other good stuff. I'll speak to you soon. Good afternoon, good evening, good metal. This is Coop, and I'm with my my very good friend Don Jackson. And one of the things we wanted to do was I wanted to sit down with a photographer and kind of go through kind of what the whole world is like a little bit. And first, last and only choice is my friend Don, who runs his own sort of photography thing. He works for a local paper as well, but he photographs the beautiful and famous in the metal community. Done some great shots for people like Killswitch Engage, and I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of a word with yourself about kind of how you got into it, how you kind of find it, some of the things that people maybe didn't realise went on in that sort of business. Also the backdrop of Doyle from the Misfits sound checking, so that's pretty cool, I think, in itself. So yeah, how are you, my friend? I haven't spoken to you in ages.
I know, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Your beard's grown considerably. How's mine?
It's all for you. That's all
that matters. But no, it's fantastic to see you, and obviously, thank you for asking me.
No, it's we keep running into each other on festivals, and so it's nice to actually get down and have a bit of a gab. The best way I've always found to this is just start at the beginning. So when little Don, and the other little Don I should say, first heard metal and first sort of got into metal and the whole sort of thing, when was that? What was the first signs of that?
Queen for me, really, as a youngster.
Sure.
My birthday, same day as Freddie Mercury's, 5th September. It was drummed into me. Queen, Fleetwood Mac and Quo from my mum.
Good foundation.
All I had. And then early 90s, got into a bit of Guns N' Roses, and then Freddie Mercury tribute concert happened.
Okay.
And it was opened by a little band called Metallica.
Yeah.
That was it then. Mine was
see on the television,
it was like riffs, wow, you know. I mean, Guns N' Roses and Slash were great, but when you got Hetfield with his mirror black Gibson just crunching away, I was like, this is what I want.
That's what I wanted.
And it just escalated from there. Then it just went, and obviously progression, it's got heavier and heavier and more, you know, advanced and all sorts of stuff. So
that was the first one. Did you see that on the television? I think
I did. I watched the whole lot.
I think a lot of people. It was like Metallica's first, like kind of like outside of the normal world they were playing. It was like, look at these guys all in black playing dead heavy like.
When James Hetfield got up and did Stone Cold Crazy with that guitar, he looked so lost.
Coming out his guitar, just look weird.
But he smashed it, you know, and it's it's a great Queen song anyway. And they cover it regularly. That's why he got up and did that one.
It's such a great song for them. It's perfect for them as well. So then you listen to metal, you get into some really cool metal stuff. Did you start to form a band? Did you start to pick up an instrument?
Yeah, I was 14, 15 with some friends from school, a little band called Inertia. I had my kidney out when I was 16, so we did a lot of charity gigs and stuff like that. Nothing was any covers, you know what I mean? I think we covered Sad But True by Metallica, we did a bit of Nirvana, a bit of Guns N' Roses, you know, sort of middle of the road stuff really. And then after that, sort of work commitments got in the way, I carried on playing guitar and what have you, and it just sort of up and down from there, and then the rest is history.
So do you remember the first sort of time you looked at photos, even like taking photos and even that type of thing? Your first sort of interest in it?
Not in the music capacity. I was working in the security industry and I got ill. They thought I had a form of epilepsy, so I had to stop driving, so I lost the job. And at the time I just started photography as a hobby, so I was like, well, time to polish the turd as such, and
have a look.
And I literally started off as a hobbyist, and it turned into supply and demand, and then all of a sudden I started blagging into gigs, as you do, and through local venues. I mean, the live rooms here have been amazing, supported me. The Tiv in Buckley was another one that supported me, and the GC in Manchester, all the venues, all the circuits, all the promoters, Ian Shaw and everyone else, all been amazing, and it's just gone from there really. And then next thing I know, I'm photographing Maiden.
Sure.
Download.
So let's take it a beat there then. So you've got you start taking photographs now in the industry. Photographers are known as togs. By the way, I'll constantly say togs. They're always shortened to togs. And the thing that's always kind of interests me is it's like anything. It's like a band, someone who plays guitar and someone takes photographs. It seems initially like anybody can do it. Anybody can take a photo. Anybody can play guitar. But there is a world of difference from going from the guy that's standing there just taking pictures on his phone to the guy who's professionally doing it. So when you first started, did you have not that much professional equipment? Did you?
Enough to get by. I mean, like anybody else starts off, you get what you can without throwing thousands at it. You see a lot of people that do all the gear and no idea. And I learnt my trade, I learnt my craft as best as I could, and I've been put in some horrible situations. I photographed Atomic Kitten and got a bottle thrown at me.
Okay, well,
not at me, at them, but it hit me.
Are you in the sort of the barrier part?
I was in the pit, I was in the photo pit for Chester Rocks, and a bottle flew over the top, hit me on the back of the head. Luckily it was empty.
Okay.
It didn't have piss
plastic, I assume.
No, it was glass. Hit me. It bounced off the top of my head.
Okay.
I was like, wow,
so like
aim a bit better.
So like the first time you have a bad experience is a Chester Rocks.
I know,
like Atomic Kitten, not the Sepultura pit
or Slayer or anything else. No.
That's amazing. So what for maybe some people who don't know about when you can become sort of professionally sort of photographer people, there's an area in front of the stage, not just before the pit and just before the barrier, which is like kind of free, where the guys who photograph are allowed to come in and take the space up there and photograph the band. It's like an optimum place, so you're not with the kind of like everybody kind of mashed in together. Now when you get in there, they only allow you like 3 songs or something. That's the deal, isn't it?
Normally 3 songs and
why
no
is
flash.
It 3 songs? I know there's no flash rule because you don't want a flash going off in someone's face.
And flash if it's not done right, it can be very unflattering. So
really, okay,
awkward angles, shadows, and what have you.
But why the first 3 songs?
It can be frustrating, and sometimes you do get the exceptions to the rule. Some photographers are lucky enough to stay. I photographed Jason Newsted's set all the way through,
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, they reckon 3 songs, because after that they start sweating. They start looking a bit minging. They start, looking a bit tired.
But wouldn't you want that though? If I was like, like a metal band, I'd be like, do you want to see?
Exactly, yeah. But you also find as well, a lot of the artists don't step up their stage show until after the 3rd song.
It's just
you get
like
all the shitty lights. You get just red light, which is a nightmare as a photographer.
What's red light? Just red light.
Just a red light, yeah. And it interferes with the sensor on the camera, getting technical now. It interferes with the sensor on the camera, and it can soften your images. A lot of black and white images you'll see are caused because the light guys just left it on red, and you're like, no. But so after the 3rd song, you find all the stage show improves. You get pyro, you get when you're photographing,
right?
And they can make.
Ironically, like the best time to take the photo when you think about it, yeah. So
exactly.
Is it all about a relationship you generate with the band if you know them, or like say you know the bassist or whatever, and you're like, I'm quite good friends. Is he more comfortable? Is he going to say, listen, Don, you stay at you can talk me all through the show?
Yeah, a lot of it is down to the PR and the management and what have you, and if you've done a good job before, if they know you, the publication you're shooting for, if you're shooting for a little rag newspaper, then chances are you're going to get nothing. But if you're shooting for you, the guys that do Metal Hammer and Kerrang, hats off to them, they're fantastic. Then they get sometimes a little bit extra. If it's a Kerrang tour, then the Kerrang guys will get more. If it's a Metal Hammer show, then the Metal Hammer. There are bonds and relationships, and you get to go on stage with certain artists, which is quite a cool thing.
So now you've gone from being at the front, and we do that, and you get asked to be on stage. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different animal, right? Because you kind of can't be in the way, but you're going to have to get in some part of the way. Yeah. Because you're going to have to get good shots.
When you're used to being at the front, it's great because they're looking at you, they'll pose for you, and it is fantastic. When you're on the stage, the first time I was ever on a decent stage, photographing the band was with Skindred in Sonosphere 2010.
Okay.
Benji was wearing his silver sequin suit, I think it was.
Okay,
they all were. Nightmare to photograph, reflects like And absolutely fantastic. But I'm on stage shaking like a shitting dog because all these people, they're not looking at me, they're not bothered about me.
Yeah, you're in the way.
I don't want to fall over or, But the angle changed, the perception changes, they don't necessarily pose for you like they would at the front. So it's nice having the elevation and, wow, look at me, I'm up here photographing them. But really, you don't necessarily get better shots.
Right.
Unless you're like Ross Halfin and you can get where you want on the stage. And,
So. But I imagine even when he started, you have to earn the trust of the people around. To get good quality photos, because that's why you're there. To have a good eye, to know what they're looking for, but also to not get in the way and know when the moment. Because if you don't know a band and you don't know their set, which are the big songs and the big moments, you're going to come across it pretty quickly. If this particular
pyro or CO2 cannons,
you're going to have some real problems. So, what was the first kind of band you did where they asked you on stage? Then was that Skindred where you actually were on stage?
Yeah, I was there for a large guitar company that I'd rather not name.
Sure.
Amplifier company that I'd rather not name.
Okay.
For different reasons. But I was up there doing all their promo and stuff, and I was on stage with Skindred. I got to know the guys quite well, and I've done various shows for them, photographed them dressed up for Halloween in Birmingham.
So they're almost kind of like, I know that guy is out the corner of my eye. And therefore, did they mug to the camera a little bit as well? Do you get that, or do you get people just ignore it? Or
they were very good. When I'm in the photo bit, they would. On the stage, not so much.
Yeah, the fans, I guess.
Phil Anselmo was good at that though. Down. He just came up to me. I got a middle finger right at the camera, posing, hit himself with the mic. I got some stellar shots of him. I saw him after, and he came up to me, got me in a headlock, messed around. Such a nice guy.
And I guess that rapport is like all important, because then it's like, okay, listen, now you can do while we're being interviewed, you can photograph us. Now you can maybe do some press shots and promotional stuff.
And the thing that I've gone by throughout all my photography career is it's not asking. Let me get this right now. It's not blagging your way into anything, because you get a lot of people who will try and blag in it.
People see it as a free gig. I'll take the camera, take 5 shots. It's a free gig.
I know what you mean. I know. The best way of looking at it for me is asking the right people the right questions.
Right.
Because, it's all in good going, oh, get me this, get me that, get me the other. You turn up, your pictures are shit. Do you know what I mean? You've just ruined your career in one foul swoop.
Yeah.
Ultimately, my name goes before my pictures. My name is on my pictures. I'm proud of that. And wherever they go, whether it's in a newsletter or a uni thing or a newspaper or globally on the internet, my name's on them.
Is it tough then as well? I was going to touch on this later, but it seems a nice time to bring it up now. Is it tough then, therefore, when someone takes that image and claims it for their own? Isn't that like the photographers like
copyright infringement?
Absolute nightmare, especially with the internet being what it is. It's like if you've sweated in a pit somewhere for 2 hours getting ready prepared for when someone comes on stage, you catch that one moment when they do that one thing, and you get that perfect shot, and then you've got to develop it, do all the things that go with that, and process it, and then someone just clicks and takes that. That's unbelievable thing to deal with, I imagine.
It's awful, and a lot of the photographers hopefully that listen to this will agree. It really does get them, and it's disheartening. It's nice that someone thinks it's good, that your picture's good enough to want to use.
Yeah, almost flattery, but it's
it's, that's like saying you've got a really nice car, I'm going to steal it. It's frustrating, especially because the internet's so easy. Go on Google search, that's a nice picture, right click and save, and that is all it takes. And whilst I was doing a lot of freelance stuff, I found that half my time was just chasing copyright infringement.
Wow.
And it just becomes so annoying. The law has changed quite a lot now to favour the photographer, and there have been quite a few landmark cases where big celebrities have used an image off a poster or from a show on a poster, or they've used it on a t-shirt and then sold it globally, and it's always ruled in the photographer's favour. And it is getting easier now to just invoice them and you will get it. 9 times out of 10, a lot of the magazines will say we haven't got a budget, and they have.
Sure.
But if 9 times out of 10 you don't try, then you won't get paid for it. And then they've got your free photo, so and I've had some of the big magazines in Russia, magazines we know and love over here, but the Russian counterpart have used my Alter Bridge photos and bits like that,
because the copyright doesn't it's different because it's a different country. Right, okay, that's tough.
I think that's fine, because ultimately you can get remuneration for it, you can chase it up and get your money back or what you think you're owed. The hard part is a lot of these things like Tumblr and fan pages and stuff, because these guys aren't doing it for money. These guys aren't doing it, they just love the artist or the band or the this and I've done it, and then they'll go and edit your picture, or they'll go and change your picture.
Or crop it in some way.
And you just think, you've just butchered something I've spent hours on, or
are we losing that? Are we losing it in the same way that we lose a little bit of people recording gigs, in the same way that people are taking photographs of gigs?
It's almost like bootlegging, isn't it, really?
Yeah, you're ruining the art form that was the photograph, because now, you see it all the time, there's a billion people taking videos, a billion people
Phones.
taking...
I mean, everyone's got a phone, haven't they,
and it's like, you can get an incredible picture, you can get an incredible video, but there's something about the guy that's got the photograph of the band, that's been travelling with the band, say, on tour with them for 2 weeks, like Ross Halfon. He's been travelling on, and he gets those moments that you can't get necessarily when you're just watching as a crowd, certainly behind the scenes. So is photography, is it still alive for bands?
It is, and with it being so accessible, they've got a plethora of photographers to choose from.
Yeah.
A lot of them might not necessarily want to be paid because they want their foot in the door, which, I started there. I can't knock people for doing that.
Yeah.
But to an extent, there's that many people giving the stuff away, it's killing the music photography industry.
Yeah.
It's getting, because everyone's giving it away, why should we pay?
I think it's reducing its value. It's reducing it, kind of like, if you boot like a CD, you don't care about that CD than if you've queued up to buy it and it's in your hand.
It's physicality, yeah.
That's why, I'll tell you how I can probably level it up, is that you don't get a picture on your wall that someone took with a phone very often.
Yeah.
But you do get that one of Eddie Van Halen and the Flares in the 70s that some guy took, and you get that, because that's what you want. There's almost like I say, it's an art. It is an art form. Photography is an art form, and that gets lost because, like I say, I think that people just pick up a camera and away they go.
Yeah.
Now, if I was trying to get into that sort of line, if I wanted to become a photographer and do that for bands, what's the real way of starting that? Is it
the frustrating part is that is probably the real way?
Yeah.
Because you've got to learn somewhere. Go and photograph your mate's band in the garage, or go and photograph your mate's show.
Yeah.
With 3 people there.
Sure.
You've got to start somewhere, and if you are good enough, your talent will shine through. I think it's just the oversaturation. Certain PR companies going, oh yeah, photographer, brilliant, and then it does ruin it for other people. It does make it difficult.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if your talent's good enough, it'll shine through regardless.
Yeah. If you've got a good enough eye, and I believe that it does look that, and you're not a fool, you're not like somebody who's difficult to work with. That'll carry a lot of graces. I know you did you've got some of the favourite shots. I was looking back at some of the shots you've took. Easily some of my favourite ones is Sid from was it Sid from Slipknot?
Yeah.
That's a great set of photos there. You could tell that he really enjoyed that as well.
I had about 3 minutes with him for that shoot.
Yeah.
It was a DJ set in the Underworld in London, Camden, and it was all arranged, and obviously what it's like, he gets busy, gets really stressed. Such a lovely guy, he really was. And he's like, we haven't got long, fire escape. The funny thing was, I had a baseball bat at home.
Sure.
And I was like, I need a prop. I know, I'll take this baseball bat with me. So I did. Took it with me. I wanted something grungy with him holding the baseball bat. Turns out on the baseball bat it says Wilson, which is Sid's surname.
Yeah.
He was buzzing. Oh man, this is so cool. He signed it for me. He signed the baseball bat, which I just thought was something really cool, and he related to it, and it broke the ice. Anyway, I saw him further down the line backstage at Download a couple of years later, and he came up to me, gave me a big hug, and it was genuine.
I think if someone gets the artist, and the artist like, listen, this is how I'd like to be portrayed, I get it, and I want to give you the tools, and this is how we're going to portray it. I think that establishes a very, very strong relation. That's why Ross Halfon, we keep saying, that's why he travels around with Metallica, because he gets him, he gets that person, that's it. And I imagine there's an enormous amount of, I know the answer to this anyway, there's an enormous amount of thinking on your feet.
Oh yeah.
With that, you bought a baseball bat because you're thinking that works. All of a sudden, it's got Wilson, and there's that type of thing. It's like,
it depends on the shoes as well. I mean, a lot of it. If you're in the photo pit, you are limited to what's in front of you. You can only photograph what's in front of you. But you can be creative. You can change your angles, and you can work on lighting. I always try and do the opposite to what everyone else is doing to an extent. You see everyone go for the lead singer. Well, I'll go for the bassist or the guitarist or the drummer because one, because it's busy. 2, because every man and his dog's going to get the same shot.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the shot that'll go in the magazine.
Sure.
The editor hopefully will pick up something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because there's a billion shots of it, not long enough tour. I also like the shots I saw of Matt Tuck when you did Bullet for Valentine. They're great shots, they are. Because they seemed to be on the fly. It was like it was a pub or something.
It was backstage at Slade Rooms at Wolverhampton. Yeah,
and you just wonder that somehow there's just quick. I remember one of my favourite shots of one that Ross Halfon did was on the top of a building with Guns N' Roses. I think it was with Duff, and Duff grabbed him and said, like, let's go upstairs and let's go on the side of the building. And he was like, listen, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, the sun's just coming up or whatever. It's freezing. Your skin did things in the cold weather. It's going to look rubbish. And he was like, no, look amazing. He took him up and he was really happy with the shots. Yeah. It's about kind of, look, we'll work with what we've got right now to capture that moment. But I really like those shots. I think the ones that have the most feedback on, and Don's has his own site, which is www.the-don.org. And one of the shots that got probably a lot of attention was a shot of Chris Jericho and Fozzy. There's some great shots from this.
Those are my most stolen photos.
There you go. With flattery is that, like, and he took the camera off you as well. He took some.
He took a selfie with my camera on stage.
What a beautiful relationship to have with someone that you're comfortable enough that he's taking pictures and he's taking all your bits and pieces and he can grab the camera and give you. Well, that's a great.
And he was very kind to give me a nice testimonial for my website as well.
Yeah.
I asked him within minutes. I'd had an email back off him saying, and I'm quite proud of that. So yeah, it was quite cool.
That's good. Like, so then, for yourself, who are some of the favourite people then that you took pictures of? And I mean,
I don't want to sound like a name checking.
Yeah. I don't mean I mean the famous sort of things that you've been involved in, like where you've gone, okay, this was pretty amazing. Like, for example, when you take, because you're a photographer, if I was a chef and I was doing the Sunday lunch, the expectation is a little higher. Is that the same with your family, where you're taking pictures of your kids and you're like, well, hold on, Daddy's a photographer?
Well, to be honest, you go to my house and we've got 4 children and there's not that many photos of them around. It's just the way we are. We don't print out, especially with the modern technology now. Photos are always your computer and everything.
Yeah, sure.
We've got nice photos up, but a lot of families have hundreds of photos everywhere. And even though I'm a photographer, I don't.
Maybe it's that thing like every builder I've met, the house is always in disrepair.
Most chefs don't like cooking when they get home.
Maybe that's the thing. But do you get that when you're like, do you get that when you go out and people are like, oh, Don's a photographer.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah, you do get that a lot, and especially if I'm at a gig and it's a small scene. Everyone knows everyone, and whether it's bands, artists, fans of the bands and stuff. I know quite a lot of people within the scene, and it's like, oh yeah, get a picture of us, and 9 times out of 10 they're smashed. Sure. And there's beer flowing, and you're like, oh, it's your camera.
I've seen that plenty of times when I've seen the guys. What happens when you get led out into this sort of trench area by whoever's looking after PR and stuff, and there's always these guys and they've got like 3 or 4 cameras all around, they're all sweating and they've got the waistcoats on with the big camera bits and pieces in it, and I think to myself, God, you do suffer for you, because people think you just turn up, there's 3 songs, take pictures and away you go back. It's not like that, is it? It's a hurry up and wait process where you can be waiting hours for stuff. There's, like you say, it's a particularly violent pit. There's people flying over, as much as security protecting you, there's beer coming over.
Security have been fantastic over the years, but you've got to keep your wits about you. I've been kicked in the head a couple of times.
And I imagine it's about establishing a bit of a rapport with the crew and the security staff. They'll be like, hey, I'm going to be here, and they're like, okay, we'll watch out,
very
we'll
much
make sure
so, very much. And our safety is just as important to them as the crowd safety. They don't want us getting hurt, and they don't want the crowd getting hurt, and they are really good. I mean, I've known a few gigs when they've got that bad that they'll say, right, no more photos, out,
and they've called
because it's such a violent pit.
So then, when you come out, say you go out, you do like the headline act of a festival, and you take a load of photos, and you come back. What are we talking as an average amount of photos? What are we talking here?
It varies. I mean, it depends how long you get with the band. It depends on how.
Because I was because I'm novice to togging. I thought it'd be maybe like 200 or 300 photos, but it can be crazy amounts, can't it?
It depends what's going on as well.
You just keep your finger going.
Depends on lighting. I mean, photograph my sugar and it's just strobe, with the strobe, and it's more often than not hit and miss whether you get them.
It's a solid white picture,
or total dark. But then the opposite side of that, if you've got something with really complementary lighting, they might not jump around as much. You can be more selective.
Does it make you more kind of appreciative of a good lighting guy?
Yes, and it's nice to get to know the lighting guy if you can.
Is there an element to that? I was going to say where he's going, listen, I'm going to put the strobes on now, and we're going to put the punter blinders on this time.
Just saying, please don't put any red light in. And like you say, when are you going to be hitting the strobes? Sometimes they're good. I mean, the bigger venues you don't get a chance to, but if it's venues that I've worked at quite often, some of the smaller venues,
gives you a little bit of an insight
they're pretty
into
good.
Yeah.
Again,
it sounds like it's just a massive case of doing your homework. Know the people you
silly little things though. I mean, bands I've not photographed before, I'll sit, it sounds really geeky now, I'll sit on YouTube the night before and I'll just watch a live show. Things like which hand does the lead singer hold the microphone in?
Okay, that level of detail.
Because I don't want a shot of a microphone and half of his face.
Yeah.
I want the other side of the microphone where you can see his face.
Wow.
And a bit of the microphone. And you see it straight away, and all the new ones go to the wrong side, and you're like, yeah, nice one.
Wow.
It's little details like that.
I would have never have thought of
even watching some like fan footage from the show the night before, and you think, great, oh yeah, that song, did a jump shot there. Okay. The guy jumped up in the air on the guitar. I wonder if he'll do it tonight. So you're thinking, right, that song's on.
I'll get myself over.
And anticipation, it's half the battle. If you know something's coming, then you will bag that jump shot. You will bag that special moment.
Does it? Don is also in a fabulous band called I Saw the World Burn, which I strongly advise you checking out. But does it change your outlook as well being in a band? Because you're like, I know what it's like.
It's weird.
Because
I'm on stage, right? Yeah. I'm on stage playing bass face, going for it and playing our stuff, and I look down and think, he's got his settings wrong.
Jesus.
I'm not sitting here going, yeah, rock it out.
Yeah, you're thinking,
what lens that is? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if that was me doing that shot, I'd do that.
So you must have had that agonising moment. So you're in your band, I Saw the World Burn, and you're like, okay, we obviously need some shots of the band. We need some promo shots. Do you think I'll be that guy because I do that, or do you think maybe I shouldn't be that guy because do you know what I mean? It's like producing yourself.
Yeah, well,
what do I do?
The last promo shoot that we had, I did.
Okay.
Purely because, as a small band, funds are hard.
Of course. Yeah.
Ultimately, it's all cost. We are self-funded DIY band, but on the other side of it, the hard part is trusting someone. It is hard. It is difficult to see.
Hello.
Yeah, it is hard to see somebody who's good enough to match my level of expectation. And there are some really phenomenal photographers out there, and I'm not being elitist in any way, shape or form. There's some that I'd really love to do our stuff, but again, it comes down to cost. And at the time, we were skint. We'd just done an EP and a music video and everything else, and I'd like to think we've done a good job of them. I'm really happy with them. They went on posters everywhere and on the Bloodstock website and all that sort of stuff. So it was quite nice to.
Do you think of it as we're talking about it, in the same way that when you're in your band and you write your songs? Is there and there's a style to that? Do you think you have a style? Do you think if I had 5 pictures on a wall, we could pick your one out? So it's difficult. Are you aiming for a style when you're doing it? Okay.
No. Some people say they do and they've got their own style. Maybe a certain editing process.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the different circumstances that I photograph in, I think it'd be impossible to have a style.
Unless you had, like, say, a studio where you brought people to.
Then, totally.
And be a completely controlled environment.
I like go for the sort of dark, edgy feel.
Okay.
To the images. But I could go from photographing Metallica to photographing a band playing to the old man in the corner with his dog.
Yeah.
You can't do the two same things.
There's too much out of your control,
exactly.
variables.
So, you have your go-to shots. You have your certain, which I won't give away, but
you do have your shots. You
have your go-to shots. You think that would work really well for that band. Maybe it's a crowd shot, or maybe it's a jump shot, or So you do have your go-to stuff, but at the same time, there's too many variables, I think, as well.
Yeah, too many things are out of your control when you're in that setting. Like, I understand that. So then, now you're kind of at a level where a band will use your photo and they will put it on the website, and they maybe even use it in PR materials and that type of thing. What is there a continuation of that now? Do you look to, is that what you want to kind of do now? Because you've been in a band as well, and that requires time, and you've got to split up a time. You've got a family, you've got lots of projects in the mix. Is the plan to still keep doing this now? Keep doing the photography for Metal Bands? It sounds to me like it's something you loved first before you could get any money from it. Before you got anything from it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I still do stuff for free where I can. If I can help out a friend's band or an up and coming band, right, I will, because I'm in a sport band. I know how hard it is, and if I can, then I will. I've travelled land to the country, sort me fuel money out, and I'm there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will do that for a band because I know how bloody hard it is.
You've seen the other side.
But at the same time, I also have to go where the money is. Got children to feed, responsibilities. So at the end of the day, I've got to sort of assess it and what's in it for me, what's in it for them.
So normally I ask, especially with certain sort of when I'm interviewing musicians and talking to musicians, is the people you'd like to take photos of? Is there kind of some people that may even listen to this and go, listen, hey, listen, I'll let him take photos of me all the time.
Just you, Coop, really.
I'm not very even with the beard. Uber talented as you are, you couldn't make this look good. But
no,
is there someone you kind of think, I wouldn't mind getting some shots of him? I think I could bring something different to what they're doing at the moment.
I'd like to do Slipknot.
Okay.
just because they're crazy on
it's
stage. It's
visual. Yeah, it's pure visuals, isn't it? Like, you know.
And I mean, a fantastic band that followed them since day one. So
yeah,
Machine Head. I got a photograph from the side of the stage, what I'd like to do from the front of the stage.
Yeah.
A lot of the other bands I've done, without sounding arrogant, I really don't mean to, but I have photographed.
You've done some of the people that you've gone
my
for,
idols, you know, and that for me, when I wasn't getting paid, was key. I want to photograph the bands I listen to because I can bring my sort of perspective in a shot to their music, you know.
Oh, that's interesting. You think that your kind of like your enthusiasm,
if that's because I'm a fan of that band.
Okay.
You know, I know guys that photograph Slayer. I've never even listened to them.
Do you think you think that makes a difference to the photographs?
Unbelievably
so.
Okay. It's like anything, you know. I do a lot of Premier League football photography and that's fantastic as a fan of football, but I know people that do it and not fans and then just sit there clicking away, get what they can, stock photos, job done. And it's like, no, I want to capture that moment, and as a fan you know what's coming. As a fan you know what to expect from where Jesse Leach growls down a microphone or James Hetfield poses with his guitar and you just think that can make a difference. And I'm not saying no one else is a fan, obviously a lot of people are fans and that's why they get into it, but I do think that helped me a lot. And that's why sometimes, like my wife would say, right, what gig are you doing? I'd be like, I'm such and such. Right, are you getting paid? Like, why not? I said, but I've listened to them since I was 14, you know. I
think it's the hardest thing of any artist and any sort of crew in any kind of level is you always have that moment where it's like there's some shows, there's some things you're going to have to do for free. It's horrible and you should really never do anything for free, but the reality is that you've got to somehow kind of get your foot in the door, get some things moving, and then that leads to those great things.
It does indeed, but then you've also got to remember this day and age with all technology the way it is, exposure doesn't pay bills, photo credits don't pay bills, and like you said earlier, it does devalue the industry. There's guys out there that work their asses off and then someone will say, well, you know, I've got X amount of followers on Facebook, so what? I've got a gas bill to pay, a council tax bill to pay, or you know. And I did have it where a large internet guitar tuition company, one of a few, borrowed, let's say, an image of mine. It was only 140 odd pixels in size, a thumbnail, a kill switch photo. So I questioned it and back and forth. No, it was on the internet, so we're allowed to have it. And then he tried to say, well,
is that the argument? It's on the internet?
Totally.
That's outrageous.
And then he turned around and said, well, I'm new in the job. He's a photo editor now for this massive website. I'm new in the job. If this goes any further, I'll get the sack. I said, well, I've got children to feed, I've got bills to pay. My priority is here, that you stole my image. And then he tried, because it was an American-based company, and obviously I'm in the UK, he tried to say, well, the American law is different. So obviously I schooled him on that, saying, because it's from Britain, it's a British law you have to adhere to. And then his lawyer contacted me. This is all within an afternoon. And his lawyer contacted me, and by the end of the conversation with the lawyer, he said, right, what are your bank details, and I'll wire the money across now. And it was as simple as that, because he didn't have a leg to stand on.
Because you provided a service, and he's took that service. It's like music piracy. It's the same thing, isn't it?
And it can kill. It can kill the photography industry. You know, it is disheartening. I mean, it's a lot easier to find now as well, and you can just drag an image on Google into the search bar.
I just think it's incredible that someone sees it. It's on the internet. It's free.
But now I can drag one of my images off my desktop, and I can just drag it into the search bar on Google, and it'll search the internet for that picture.
Is that because you watermark the images?
It goes off the size. It goes. Some, I don't know how it does it, algorithms or whatever. Some Google.
But you watermark. That's something I'm aware that you can do. You watermark
to an extent, but it can detract from the image, so people tend not to.
Is that why you see as well? People have you have a picture of someone and it says at so and so photography type of thing, and it's normally over the front of the person or over the chest.
Also, because a lot of artists will use them on Twitter and Instagram and everything else without crediting them. And worst case scenario, a lot of them will say, well, at least I got my name on there, but that's not enough for me. You've got to fight it. You've got to push and get what you deserve, because you've gone out, you might have travelled 50 miles to that show. You know, you've had an argument with the partner, getting there, you're stressed, you know, the traffic, you get there, you do your job to the best of your ability, you get home, you think, right, I've not been paid very much for it, but I've enjoyed it, I've got something from it. 2 days later, the artist retweeting it and you don't get a thanks, kiss me arse or nothing. And you just think, hang on, if I stole your EP or your album or didn't pay for a ticket and got into your show, you kick me out, you go mad, you know, there's cases of fans being sued, whatever. But it's because it's time served. It's work. But you pay someone to cut the grass. You know that you're expecting to cut the grass. You pay a plumber. You pay electrician.
But it's like me going onto a band's website and going and saying to everybody, I took that photo. Prove you did or you didn't. It's incredibly.
It doesn't just happen to music. I mean, it happens. I've had all different types of images stolen and used in magazines, websites. People on Twitter saying that they've taken them, and people are just,
and that sounds like it's like a regular occurrence for a photographer.
So, yeah.
That's insane.
A lot of photographers have their niche that they stick to, but because I do quite a bit of everything with working for a newspaper, I've got a lot of doors that are opening, and because I've got a vast array of genres that I shoot, I'm obviously getting more stolen. To come 10 from each one, sort of thing. Yeah, sometimes
to keep tabs of that must be insane itself. If you put up 20 photos, you've got to check all 20 photos.
There is software now. There's really good software that can help you, and they'll also fight at the litigation side of it for you.
So if I'm taking photos of bands and I'm putting them up, and I'm a photographer and I want to protect myself, what should I do then? What is it a case of using this software and kind of constantly every single image that I put up checking it on a daily thing?
To an extent, I mean, the software does it for you, right? So you can upload 300 photos to this software or whatever, and it will scan it every week or so for you. And they'll say, right, this one's come up, this one's come up, this one's come up. What do you want to do? And then you can pursue it. And they'll pursue it for you, and they can take half of what you get back or a percentage of what you get back.
Really? Okay.
They do it that way. So that is good. But back in even 2 or 3 years ago, you'd have to do it yourself, and I've sat there and trawl through it. And
that's insane.
And then when you're a freelancer, it takes up a lot of your time. And then there's the invoices, then there's the legality and the battles. And
you can't do that unless you really give a fuck.
And you have to
you can't do that. You can't have a passion
bread and butter. When it's your lifeline, you have to do that. And that's time I should be out shooting, not sitting around shaking some little scrote, going, "Why have you stole my image?" "Oh, because I liked it." Doesn't matter, Wow. It's frustrating. But it doesn't detract from the love of what I do.
It's a part. It's just an unsightly part of a process that you clearly love. The process.
But when, like you say, there's moments where Chris Jericho, "Don, give me a camera," and you're just like, what is going on?
What is it? What is this?
There's 1,000 people behind me, and I'm just like, have it. And then he retweeted to his 1 million followers. That's just mind blowing. And I've been in a few situations like that, and you just think,
I think the bands that get it, the bands that get that it's a person's and it's a person's photography and it's a person that's an art form and it's a person, for Christ's sake, it's someone's thing. I think the ones that get it seem to get the best out of it as well. I wonder how many times that they go from being, I've seen these photos, I really like them, listen, I'm doing a show in XYZ, or can you come along? I'm sure, like you say, you had your initial foot in the door, but then eventually as the time and
you've got to show them you're good enough. You've got to show them you can work to what they want.
Then it's like, I imagine it moves from being who the hell is this guy to actually I need to get hold of this guy because he's the only guy who can take decent photos of me. I imagine that's a process or a part of it.
It's also nice when it happens as well.
Well, it's that kind of like them saying like, okay, it's that stamp of you've achieved it. It's an achievement in the world. It's a badge of honour. That you can do that.
When you see your photos in places they should be. So, for example, a band will hire you for a shoot, and then you see them on the Download website or on the Bloodstock website, or on their album or on their artwork, and you just
have you had that yet? Have you had any artwork? Okay, so what
36 Crazy Fists come over.
Okay.
And I did a promo shoot with those guys, and they're just fucking brilliant. They're
how do you?
Good.
I've like tour managed and stuff, and it was described by a friend of mine as herding cats when you're getting around. And it's true. How do you deal with that when you're trying to photograph like 5 people?
I've never met them before. I'll use Crazy Fists as an example. Such good guys. I'd never met them before. Met them at what was the Purple Turtle in Camden.
Oh yeah, great venue.
Met them with their PR guy. Right, off you go. And we just went for a wander. I'd sort of recce the area and I'd look what was about.
Okay.
And we wandered, found an alleyway, set up the lighting with Ian, who's the guitarist in my band, and we got some photos and stuff, individual ones, and we went back inside the Purple Turtle, used the venue as well, got some killer shots. And then next thing I know, they're on the Download website and bits and bobs, and they use it for promo.
I never thought about that side of it as well. I think of the classic 60s photo shoot with the guy with the camera and the white drapes and the lights and stuff, but I don't think when you go into like an alleyway, it didn't occur to me to get, there's got to be a guy with lights. Why? I get it.
A lot of people don't, and a lot of people do. Depends on your image.
But there's a certain level of quality I imagine you're going to be getting if you do stuff like that, like light. Is it called baffles? Is it like things like what are they? Crazy things.
Loads of different stuff, but obviously portability is the key, so you don't want to carry the world around with you. Some people do, depends on what they're doing. But for my setup, it's quite minimal where it needs to be, light, quick, and battery powered.
Sure. Was there a progression with the equipment as well? Like, when did you buy like that camera where it was like, this is it, this is serious now? I know I'm not silly now. You know, when you buy your first guitar rig,
every single one, it gets more expensive every time. So,
and is it really stupid money? Is it for like, I see these guys with fucking stupid lenses and stuff.
It depends what you want. I mean, my equipment's changed a lot because I do a lot of photography for, I don't know if you've seen my photos, the aircraft that I photograph.
Yeah, I've seen tornadoes and stuff.
Climb up a mountain, they come past at 500 mile an hour. I couldn't do that with a gig lens, you know what I mean? I'm having to use a 300 or 400 mil lens, you know, and they're
these are these crazy things, because I've seen a couple of shots where like there's a brilliant one of you standing outside the tent, and I'm thinking, how long did it take him to? Because you got to get there, you got to camp, you got to. That's most people just see the shot and go, that's a cool shot, I'll use that as my cover photo or whatever. The time invested to get to that
I've been
point.
Up a mountain for 8 to 10 hours in the pissing down rain or the
to
snow.
See a tornado bank.
No, to see nothing sometimes. It's like fishing. It's like fishing, and then there's other times where I think one day we had 29 passes in one day, and it's like, I'm bored now.
You've got loads. It's feast and famine.
It's good, and you know, I've sold some of those images via magazines or websites, or even kids. You know, if I get parents contact me going, I want to buy one for my son's wall, you know, and that to me is just like, I've made something. And that kid's going to be, his mind's going to be blown. That
I don't know if we have. Do we have that still, where we have like the teenagers have the posters of bands on the wall? I don't know an awful lot. I'm in an awful lot of those.
Since HMV sort of went on his arse, you don't see those sort of posters around anymore.
Just a poster. Posters with I used to have the guys that I used to have like Metallica, Judas Priest. I used to have these photos on these walls. I don't know if now that's gone and they just have it on the laptop and it's just a backdrop or something.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I've got my eldest daughter, she's 11, and she's not quite at that age yet where she wants posters of pop stars and rock stars. And
it's coming.
It better be rock stars, not pop stars, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
There'll be no One Direction or anything.
But that's you don't know. Like they just want to rebel. You know what I mean? It's like if daddy likes his metal.
My daughter plays bass, so
just got to kind of get him to the right sort of mentality.
I just put him in the right direction.
You can try some metal first.
This is what you want.
So now you kind of you can say you're a photographer. Mm-hmm. That's a nice thing to be able to say. Listen, I'm a professional photographer. Because the minute you go to being a professional and make money from, which is the essence of being professional, that's a watershed moment, because you can say that, like, and that must carry weight when you approach a band and go, listen, you're touring in whatever, I'd like to come out and do some shows.
I like to use the expression photographer as in FAUX.
Sure.
So you get a lot of photographers who again have all the gear, no idea, and you get a lot of them that are genuine, and sometimes the water can get muddied a little bit, and people can pretend that they're really good because they've got this lighting and equipment, and I'm a model photographer, I'm this or I'm that, and they're not. And you look at the photos and you think, people are paying you for that. Wow, you know, and
must be taken seriously.
I was shit at one point. Sometimes I look at my pictures and think, that's fucking awful, what are you doing? And then other times I feel like I get lucky sometimes, you know. You've got to be in the right place at the right time.
But I imagine it's like anything, you know. It's like the old saying is, I get more successful the harder I work. But
without a doubt,
it's like I get lucky. The luckier I get, the harder I work. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's that connection of like you did your homework. I think the phrase I'm trying to scramble for is the harder I work, the luckier I get. That's it. Is that if you put yourself in that, and you say you watch a video, see which hand the person's using. If you put yourself in those positions, you're going to get a little bit luckier. Do you know what I mean? Than the average guy. But I imagine in the photography business, and the same with like anything, is that you're going to get a lot of people who just come there, like you say, for the free gig. I'll just turn up
to the iPad, and you're just like,
that's fucking. What's Don's stance on people taking iPads to a fucking concert?
Okay. Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah, right? That's my fucking. I've talked about this before.
I'm nearly 17 stone. I've got pointy elbows. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. They're getting smashed the fuck out of the pit.
It's just, we talk about this on the podcast. Is that like you only should really take maybe 1 or 2 photos on your phone, maybe 1 or 2 videos, and that's it. Put it away, because there's someone like yourself taking pro photos. You
just cut across you quickly though. I'm on about people taking iPads into the pit, the pass with a pass. That's madness. With a pass, the guys in the crowd, they can do what they want. They pay for the ticket money.
Hold on, you mean actually like where the tog area is?
Yeah, these are given photo passes and press passes and from PR or band.
Charlatan. charlatans.
And then they turn up with an iPad, and you just think,
you might as well turn up with a fucking colouring book.
Or a potato, yeah.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Really?
So that's why I get a bit elbowy.
I was at Bloodstock, and a couple of people had done that in the crowd. I've seen, in the crowd, done that, who were getting lit up. And there was one guy with his iPad, and the woman who was obviously in charge of that was like, what are you, get out the way, what are you doing here? It's just a professional business.
It's professional capacity, and it's insulting to the guys that have, like you said, we put blood, sweat and tears. It's not just me, there's guys that work a lot harder than I do, and I could list them.
You've got a couple of £100 lens and cameras set up, maybe more, you're thousands of pounds you're talking about. Some guy with an iPad with the shitty camera on there, as good as it is, that's just absolutely maddening.
And they've been given official accreditation. Doesn't always happen, obviously. I'm not blaming all PR people, and
these people get through the net like that's just, and it just distills the process.
Sometimes a lot of them are doing it for PR companies or for the band directly. You know, a lot of it's the band. You think, bloody hell, what's he doing? And it turns out he's the tour manager, or it turns out he's one of the techs.
How is the community? Because from what I've seen, is it's very good. That a lot of togs know each other.
We're all good friends. Amazing.
You're all huddled in, so you kind of have to. It's that siege mentality. It's like, listen, Slayer are coming on. I saw the Slayer pit sort of almost punching all together. They were like, let's get fucking through this, guys.
Smart,
you know, which is beautiful.
Like
yeah, which is a beautiful thing to have. Like, you know,
I've made a lot of friends from it. A lot of really, really good friends, and some that I don't see for year after year until I get another big gig come up, but when I see them, it's like, I've not seen you for ages, you know. And some of them have now come on to follow my band. Some of them won't photograph my band because they know what I do for a living.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh, well, come on. They're like, no, you
worried about it taking the wrong photo.
But then some of them do, and they've been fantastic to us and give us loads of support. I mean, when we played on stage, Lights of the World Burn at Bloodstock, I think we had more photographers than any of the other small bands.
It wasn't that a trip? Because it was the first time I saw the band, and they were on the Metal for the Masters on the Bloodstock stage, and the tent was pretty damn packed from what I could see. Yeah. And there was like 4 or 5 photographers came round to take photos, and it suddenly occurred to me that they're taking photos of my friend who's also a photographer. And I was thinking, like you say, you're just thinking, I was like, this is insane, like, you know. But it was
on stage, obviously, doing
what a show,
to give it what I could, and then I'm looking down, going, that lighting's not right. You know, if you're just a bit, he's not got my good side here.
Yeah.
But, no, it's weird being on the other side of the camera, because I'm not a guy who likes to be seen on. I like to be behind the camera rather than in front of it.
Okay.
So to have all this attention all of a sudden, it's cool. It's dead nice to go, I was on that stage in front of all those people. And all the photos have been fantastic. I can't knock any of them, but I just hate having my picture taken. You know,
wow.
And
is that a thing with most photographers?
I don't know. Just for me, it is.
I think a few of them I've talked to have been like, don't take it, because I've been like, I'm like, okay, because I like getting pictures with the crew rather than the I love all that type of thing.
One of
you, we were downloading, and it's I like that. Like, but a lot of them are like, no, Coop, no. They like to stay completely in the dark, if you will, kind of.
And I'm very much like that. I've had to change, obviously, because of the band, but it's a weird feeling.
I normally I've started to ask people like who crew and tech and stuff. I've asked them like, what's the favourite show they've ever seen, and what's the favourite show they've ever been a part of, and in your case in a photography essence. But I'd like to caveat with another question at the end there. But so the best show you've ever seen, you've ever been to as a fan,
was my first ever metal gig.
Okay.
The one that stands out off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Metallica Cunning Stunts tour.
Okay.
October 1997. October the 15th, 1997.
Yeah.
That's the one where the whole stage fell apart.
And they had the plane in the middle, and it all had the fake end, and the guy on fire and shit. And
it was literally a last minute ticket for my 18th birthday. So,
wow.
Yeah, and I was just blown away. And I'll never forget, my uncle had this massive sound system in his car on the way home, and he had it cranked, and I could hardly hear it. I was just like, my ear was like, wow, this is amazing. And you know, I've photographed hundreds and hundreds of gigs. I've probably been thousands of shows over the years, you know.
But if you had to pick one that you, as a tog, you went to it and you were like, do you know what, I enjoyed the show, I enjoyed being a tog there, I enjoyed the whole thing.
There's so many. I know it's easy to say, at least I genuinely couldn't.
I remember we both worked the Download, the Metallica one, where they played the Black Album. In full. That was good. Were you in the pit? You were in the snake pit for that, weren't you?
I was, I couldn't get a photo pass for that.
Oh, right, okay,
but through one of my contacts, I was sulking backstage. I got a phone call. I'm the first to admit it, I'm the biggest fanboy of Metallica. And I got a phone call. Where are you? Sulking, what do you want?
Yeah.
And he goes, I've got your, I guess, wristband for the snake pit.
What some people may not realise is obviously there's different passes. There's just a photo pass, and especially with Metallica and the stage, there's passes for just the pit, and there's passes for be on the side of stage, and everything's kind of covered. And sometimes a photographer will only have literally just a photo pass, so he can't go behind the scenes very much. He's just there to bring in there. So I was interested to know, because I know nothing about photography. I know what I like the look of, and I know what I think is a good picture of a famous person or whatever. But for you, what were some of your favourite photos that you've ever seen of some of your heroes? And do you know who took them?
I'll have a think now. Ross Halfin. And most of the Metallica stuff that he does.
Yeah, certainly in the 80s.
Iconic, everything. I mean, I've got a double gatefold Master of Puppets album, original, with the merch slip in and it's got the Metallica poster where they're by the scrapyard. It's
I know that one.
Poster.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's iconic for me. There's the load photos that he did, the live stuff that he did, anything by him. And for all, I might get lynched for this. He's not technically the greatest photographer out there.
Right.
But he's iconic in what he captures. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's in the right place.
So it's his eye for it is imperative. He's fantastic.
And I think that's probably. I mean, it's a nice place to leave it there. But that I think is absolutely key. But as always, you see, we don't catch up enough. We don't talk anywhere near as much. We're both busy people. But I appreciate you sitting down. It's been a nice little world, and hopefully, if you're sitting at home, you're listening, you go, listen, I want to be a photographer. I think I can do that.
Just quickly as well, though, anyone that's got any questions for me, give me a shout.
There you go.
I know I've said it's hard to get into and there's too many, it's oversaturated. I'm the first to offer.
You know what I think? If I was sitting at home and I'm a photographer now, I'm thinking I'll go to the next I Saw the World Burnt show, which is going to be, where do you play next?
It's Saturday in Birmingham.
There you go.
And Sunday in Manchester.
I'd get to, if this is up in time, and I think it will be, I'd get to that show and I'd take some photos of you, and then I'd send them to you, and I'd go, what do you reckon? Because I'd want to know. I'd want to know.
No, I mean, with regards to, if anyone wants any advice, give me a shout. I love what I do. I'd like to think I'm good at what I do, but I'm not a snob in what I do, and there are a lot of photography snobs. There are a lot of people that will look down the nose if you're not using the right camera or the right lens, or and I've been there. I've been on the other side of that, and it's not nice. But as a whole, a lot of people are so helpful and so friendly, and I learned a lot from a lot of photographers as well.
People opening up and explaining the business.
You're struggling with your settings or the lighting, or you got a problem with your camera. It happens, and there'll be someone there. There'll be someone there to go balls to you, but at the same time, there'll be 3 or 4 others going, "Yeah, I'll give you a hand, mate. Don't worry." And that's how you make your friends. And like I said, I've got a lot of friends from the industry, whether it's on stage, off stage, all through the photography. And anyone needs any help, give me a shout.
That's fantastic.
It's only 50 quid an hour.
That's how our community should be, especially in the metal community as well, because it's slightly different. Well, I said that up until you said about the Chester Rocks thing. It's a slightly different vibe for a metal gig for most things. But then I guess if you're top for One Direction or something, I imagine there's screaming girls and they're all coming over the
Just for the record, I will never ever photograph for One Direction. That's all I need to say.
Great stuff. And what a great place to leave it. Don, what a superb as always. Just it's nice to get you recorded, because we often talk about the business and nothing, but it's nice to get it recorded down, that someone somewhere can go, hold on, actually I might try that now. Actually, I'm just as sick of trying to find people's copyright for my stuff and that type of thing. And you're not alone, and there are other people suffering out there for their art. But thank you very much, Don, as always.
Thank you. You're going to come and catch our show?
You're dead right. I'm coming and catch your show. I might take some photos on my camera. No, I'm joking. I'm playing with your photos. Definitely, 100%. Thanks very much for that. Superb as always. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Cheers, fella. So that was us talking to Don Jackson. Thanks very much for listening to the podcast itself. I hope you got something from it. Please feel free to leave comments and share this stuff if you agreed, disagreed. Be interesting to hear from you. As always, just check out our Facebook page, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for listening. My name's Coop. This has been The Spoken Metal Show.
I don't wanna be rude, you say more than if I'm rude, you better deal with it. Cause if you can't accept my conception, fuck you.